accept the fact that the city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportions. Biblical means its Old Testament.
Well, there's so much that we can get into when we talk about where we need to go for the rest of this hour. I mean, we have about 45 minutes left before Mixtapes comes here in just a few moments. But listen, I have all this stuff going on here, and I do have the Times Dispatch. Make sure that we do have that there. It's a real newspaper, right? Well, it's the one that awards us as what? We're the number one. Well, now I would say, now we might as well. We're in the inside lane. Let's just put it that way. Now, old Uncle John's leaving now, ladies and gentlemen. So you know what that means. That means that inside lane is with us for the best of Richmond here for this year. Not saying that we'll win, and I'm not sure if we even need to at this point. But I did want to let everyone know we are here as an award-winning media puppet, and awards that are won from the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Yes, that's right. A real newspaper, the newspaper of record, where your story lives. Here on, like I said, the 18th day of January in the year 2025. And give a shout out to a couple people. Old Uncle Bo. I see Uncle Bo is there. We have Stuart Lewis as well. Iskagawi, I believe. Shout out to you as well. Oh, Mary Murr. Shout out to Mary Murr and G-Man. They're around somewhere as well. But here I am. I'm looking over the Never Back Down. The Doug Wilder. Doug Wilder turned 94 yesterday. Unfortunately, though, he's still a baby. The reason why I say he's still a baby is because Popeye yesterday turned 95. So Popeye has 1 year on you, bub. And that's hey, listen, that's just the facts. Doug Wilder might as well just call Popeye Big Brother. The whole year. The Popeye, I believe he became public domain this year, right? Public domain. Popeye is a public domain now. I saw somebody the other day post. It was a group of people. I think it was Cato. Cato had sent a picture, and it was a picture of Popeye dressed as a Navy SEAL. Because now that we do have this whole, Popeye is now in the public domain. So you can go create a picture. What was that? What? Oh, they made a horror movie of Popeye. Of course they did. Of course they did. Why is that always a thing? It's like Winnie the Pooh becomes public domain. They make a Winnie the Pooh horror movie. Then what? Popeye becomes public domain. They make a Popeye horror slasher movie. Now Steamboat Willie is, they're going to make a Steamboat Willie horror movie. Why is that always the first place they go? Is horror movies. It's like, what? Public domain. Slasher. Let's make a slasher. My gosh. Oh, my goodness gracious. Shout out, of course, Go Figure Go. Collect it. Build something for it. Photograph it. Do something. Be a collector. That's right. Be a collector. I miss those. I miss those. Hey, you know what? Your wife, she's sitting there saying, hey, we need to do this. We need to do that. Grab your toy. Go photograph it. Be a collector. I miss those. I miss the Triple D. Shout out to Triple D. And Cato, to see Cato's joining us too as well. Make sure that you do follow Cato's collection. Starting up a new thing, I believe. It's not new. It's like rebranding, I guess, right? It's Cato. Used to be Cato Presents, but now it's Cato. I'm not sure if it should be just Cato. It should just be The Robe. Yeah, The Robe featuring Cato, right? Because that's really the star of the show. It's The Robe. Cato Presents The Robe. How about that? No, it's The Robe. It's The Robe. little inside joke. Inside joke. The real Aaron D. Hughes has joined us as well. But like I said, I was talking about Doug Wilder and the Richmond Times Dispatch. There's an article one here. We're talking about TikTok last hour. TikTokers respond to potential ban. Everybody's like, oh, creators would be hurt financially. Rah, 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 rah. You know what? If you tie your brand to social media, the reality is that you have no brand, right? I'm going to say that again. When you tie your brand to social media, you have no brand. No, I'm telling you, that is the fact. Because the reality is that you might sit there and think, oh, well, you know what? I've done all this stuff on TikTok. I'm a TikToker. All right. Well, don't you understand that by saying that you're a TikToker, that your brand and everything that you do is tied to said social media platform? The same thing happens with YouTube. I see this all the time. People who are YouTubers. Oh, I'm a YouTuber. Oh, yeah, I'm a YouTuber. And I got shut down. Oh my gosh, they changed stuff and everything's different now. And oh my thing. And listen, this is what happens when you tie your brand to social media. The reality is that social media is still the brand. I'm going to say that again. Social media is the brand. You're not. You're not the brand. Social media is the brand. That's why you go by YouTuber or you go by TikToker. I'm a Facebooker. Well, whatever. I'm an Xer. I'm a tweeter. It used to be tweeter, right? So, but no, I listen. I feel it's very upsetting sometimes because these people put a lot of hard work, but they just don't understand the concept of business. They don't understand the concept of personal branding. And what they do is they think fast and they want to get, quick likes and quick, dopamine hits. That's what it is. It's dopamine hits. And then now they're upset that it could be banned. I don't think it will be banned. Oh, Trump just got on it not too long ago when he was doing the campaigning. So I don't think it'll probably get sold. I know Kevin O'Leary was trying to get it. He was trying to buy it. A couple other people were trying to buy it. So I think that everything, and of course, when it gets sold, they'll be able to finally open up the back doors, which is the real reason why that they're very upset. They sit there, they'll say, oh, well, it just all goes back to China. No, the reality is that they don't have the back doors into the program just yet. And when it does get sold, then it will. And then they'll be able to go back, put their little grubby fingers in it, see what everybody's doing, and then continue to spy on you just through another app. And that is the facts. That's the Truthus is Rufus's. Don't get upset with me. Just the messenger here. Just the messenger here. There's a cannabis bill that cleared a hurdle. The measure calls for a regulated market. Now, the General Assembly just went into session here in Virginia. And one of the big things is a while back during the Novum era, what is it? Governor Blackface, basically. Governor Blackface, the KKK Blackface. Governor Blackface in a KKK robe. How about that? When what he did is that he ended up passing legislation at some point for a legal cannabis market. Now, people call it marijuana. Marijuana. It's not marijuana. It's cannabis. Shout out to Figure Fight Club. Make sure you go watch him around 9 o'clock on Fridays. But no, seriously, this whole idea that years ago they decided to put a plan in place so that eventually there would be a retail cannabis market. That's why we call it cannabis market in the state of Virginia. And it seems that over the last 2 years or so, the Youngkin administration has done its best job to put a monkey wrench in all of that. With, I believe, the governor saying the other day, the state of the Commonwealth address, he said something to the effect of, "We don't need a marijuana marketplace," or something to that effect. And it's like, yeah, well, you know what? It has already been decided. And then all of a sudden, another group of legislators come in and say, "Oh no, pump the brakes! I got to make sure that my fellas over in alcohol and tobacco, and all the people who get kickbacks, make sure they get enough of their kickbacks before we put this market into place, because eventually it will go into place." And they keep going down this path. There's a reason why. There's a reason why that the legislature is all blue now. People sit there and thought that, oh, you know what? Hey, you know what? And I'm not going to say that it's all just based on cannabis, but I'm going to tell you it's a big deal. And it's a big deal for a lot of people. Why? Because here you have this Make America Healthy Again stuff going on. And what did you have? You have RFK saying that he's actively going to push for vaccine manufacturers to not have blanket immunity. I'm going to say that again. RFK is going to push for vaccine manufacturers to not have blanket immunity. My question is, why the hell did they have blanket immunity in the first place? Because they knew that what they were pushing was failing. And that is the fact. Accountability. And you have a bunch of people who don't want to sit there and have a bunch of pharmaceutical drugs with 20 other side effects. They just want a few gummies to help out with their glaucoma. And then people will say, oh, well, but you know what? The kids will get it. The kids are not. Do you know that alcohol, drug, and everything is down for the youth? It's down. It's down to some of the lowest numbers ever. And you want to sit there and tell me, oh, the kids are going to get it. No, they're worn out. They're not doing that. They're not doing that. Well, what? Yeah, well, there's always a Tide Pod somewhere. But no, but listen, that's not absolutely insane. So it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So here we are. We have this cannabis bill that is clear to hurdle legislation to set up a regulated retail market for cannabis, passed a first General Assembly on Friday on a party line vote on essentially the identical bill that Governor Youngkin vetoed last year. He's going to veto this one as well, you goons. And that's what's going to happen. And the reason why Spanberger is going to take the governorship next year, the reason why Stoney is going to take the lieutenant governorship next year, is because of stuff like this. It is. It's very, very simple. We want a cannabis. The voters have said it. The voters have said it multiple times. And you know what I do is I pull up on my social media feeds, and this is everywhere. This is TikTok. This is Instagram. This is all over social media of these two cop clowns, these undercover goons. One of them has their hat on backwards. What are you doing? They have their hat on backwards? A hat on backwards, and then they walk up to each other and shake each other by the left hand? Oh my gosh. Absolutely moronic. My tax dollars are going to some goons who are sitting there with their hat on backwards, walking into a vape shop, asking them for weed, trying to get a weed bust, trying to sit there and make it so that, this weed shop, this cannabis smoke shop, it's not even a cannabis smoke shop. It's like a vape shop. You're trying to have a vape shop sell them weed. Oh well, we're acquaintances. We're acquaintances. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, I'm working in Ashland now. We're working in Chesterfield. And he's got a hat on backwards, looking like a goon. And here's the thing: I'm not anti-police at all. I'm not anti-military. Not anti-fire department. No. You know what I am anti, though? My tax dollars going to that nonsense. And you should be too. And then when the Republicans realize that they're going to lose the governorship, the lieutenant governorship, hey, don't get mad at me. Listen, I'm going to have to sit there and tell you in November, see, I told you so. But why'd this happen, Sam? Well, it's because, 5 years ago, the state of Virginia wanted to have a cannabis retail market. And then all of a sudden the Republicans came in and they just put some cement shoes all over it. Oh my gosh, good grief. I know. Absolutely insane. Well, there's more that I can get into. There is more that I can get into, but I'm going to pump the brakes. I'm going to pump the brakes. We'll get back to that in just a few moments. I do have a couple of things here that I did want to play. Let's see here. Do we have that? There's that one, and then we had another one. What was the other one? Right? Okay. Listen, just talking to the producers. Remember, I was telling you guys last hour. I have to talk to the producers myself because the last thing I want is the producers to start talking here. All right, we're going to be back here in just a few moments, about 10 minutes or so, around 10:40. We'll be back. We'll talk about what we learned today, and that's one to learn with. You can take that for the books. Make sure you're following me all over social media. That's at Sam Newsman, all over social media. That's where you will find me, setting the standard and raising the bar. You're on the only award-winning radio show dedicated to the magic and nostalgia of Saturday morning, hosted by me, a real media puppet. Download the Live 365 app or go to WDCE.org to listen to the theme songs, the radio-only segments of the show. You'll love it. It's great, and we all have a good time. From the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman, and this is Saturday morning.